Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video for Soul, we're going to be opening up some interesting dimensions in relation to what you can expect in relation to a change that happens within yourself and your relationship with others within the experience of communication. So within this video, we're going to walk a case study example of an individual who changed their relationship with themselves and so with others within the experience of communication through realizing how they have not as of yet for themselves even specifically enough defined who they are within certain things that they actually like and enjoy and do every single day or most of the time as a pastime or as a hobby or just for pure fun and self-enjoyment. But when other people approach them, in terms of asking them, hey, what do you do for hobbies or pastime or self-enjoyment and fun, they found, that they couldn't actually vocabularize it in terms of, sharing with the people in words, what exactly they do and why they do it and how they enjoy themselves within it. And also, what was the process and history behind, the certain pastimes and hobbies and, enjoyments and fun that they do participate in. So for some time in their life, they simply accepted the fact that, I'm just a shy, introverted person who doesn't speak much. Or when people would approach him, he would, for example, kind of simply say, I do this, I do that. And then they'd ask, but why? Why do you enjoy it? He'd simply respond, just because I enjoy it. So keeping communication very confined, limited, and just to the point, not in any way being able to actually open up and share the details of who they are within what they do and why. So upon reflection, this individual sat down with themselves and had a look at these moments of conversations that they had with others, which wasn't by any means a conversation. It was more just also how we tend to communicate with, hey, how are you? Fine. Like a moment, and then, sometimes the person who's asking, how are you, is genuinely asking, how are you, in a way of, communicate, share, open up, be detailed. But we oftentimes simply give that one response because in many ways, we haven't defined or had the ability to, in detail and specificity, define ourselves, who we are, how we are, what we're experiencing within us, in a way where we can share it in a story, with someone else, in a way where another person can get to see, who we are. And in that, getting to see who we are, a moment of interaction, participation, and communication between two individuals open up. So this individual then, how this process opened up for him was he was listening to the video series that we've done in Soul in relation to fun. And he said, he knows what he likes to do in terms of when it comes to fun, but, he's got different experiences inside himself where sometimes he would be able to do something and he can do it for a whole day. And that had to do with, for example, a certain game that he could be occupied with for a whole day. But this game was very, it was stimulating him mentally, so it was more like a puzzle with information and having to figure things out. And he really thoroughly enjoys that, but there's not so much an experience to it. It's just something that is so natural and enjoyable that he can sit down and do it all day. And then there was another experience where he would be watching a particular program, and it had to do with dancing. But yet when he would watch the dancing, a fun and enjoyable experience would come up within him. So it's like these two different things. It's fun and enjoyable, but his experience within it is different. And then from there, we asked him, okay, so what is it about the game that you enjoy? What makes it fun? Who are you within that experience and the participation of the gaming? And he was like a bit confused, in having a look at, I just enjoy it. I was like, no, define it. Describe it for me. What goes on within you? What is it about it in the beginning, even when you got to know this game, that pulled you in, that made you curious? Who are you within it? And interestingly enough, he then started opening it up and describing it in terms of enjoying the challenges, the mental challenges that's involved, the different levels and how to push himself, and that experience of sometimes getting stuck and having to figure out a way through a certain level himself. So slowly but surely he started defining and describing himself within it all even more. And then we got to the dancing and asked him, all right, what is it about the dancing, that experience or process of watching it, that you enjoy? Is it, for example, the technique, the effort and the labor, the time, the dedication and the process that has to be put into something, and then eventually over time you get this beautiful dance between two individuals? What is it about it? And again, he took some time and he had a look, and then he remembered, he had done dancing classes earlier on in his life, and he thoroughly enjoyed that experience, the physical experience of getting to know the steps and moving your body, and he kind of knows what's involved with it. So while he's watching it, he can remember his own process, his own experience, his memories, and also just having a look at how much more to that dancing experience can exist in the process of two individuals, and the different dance styles and ways and techniques and methods. So in this, he was then saying and sharing, opening up all his past memories of moments where people asked him, what do you enjoy? Why do you enjoy it? And there would be one-word responses. And now he's got the ability and the capacity to be able to open up in a way of communicating. So what we can learn from his experience and the process that he had walked in relation to words, and not only words, but also in terms of defining and within detail and specificity, who he is in what he does and what he interacts. So this also opens up an interestingly new dimension when it comes to redefining words and redefining self, because we can also do it in the reverse, in essence. In reverse meaning you define yourself, and so within that, utilizing words to assist and support yourself in doing so. But what is beautiful about this really is that it's not like he defined himself in a way of, adding things into himself that didn't exist before, meaning that he already had the natural awareness within him of who he is in relation to gaming and dancing. The experiences, the reasons, the purpose behind his relationship with gaming and dancing was always within him. It was always here. But he just didn't take that step of using his words to define it, to describe it. And this video, I would like to have everyone who can relate to this, have a look at, have you ever taken a moment with yourself and ask yourself, who am I within what I do, within what I participate in everyday life? And not only that, but in moments where people would ask you, how are you? What is your response? What is your answer? I mean, yes, obviously, when an acquaintance or a stranger asks you, how are you? You're not going to be like opening up everything about yourself. But, we can, even in those small moments with acquaintances, with strangers, maybe even just at least start practicing speaking a sentence, a moment of an expression that is yourself, instead of, just the one words of okay, fine, all right, good, bad. Sometimes we don't even use words, and we have progressed or evolved to the stage where we're now actually using sound only, not even words. Because this process, will assist and support you to start realizing how much about yourself actually exists within you, but you haven't defined it and described it even for yourself. And it's like in that process, you're going to get to know yourself better as well. And in a way, also assist and support in your actual wording and communication with others. Another point that opened up in this individual was, when he was looking back, he was saying, I just thought people didn't like me, or that they just didn't want to talk to me, or they misunderstood me, or they thought I was weird, or something like that. But upon honestly just having a look at his interactions with people, he never actually spoke, actually shared, actually used his words to communicate. So, obviously, if we don't use our words in a way where other people can get insights and views and perspectives into who we are, then there's nothing and no way that they can possibly even decide to approach you or get to know you or relate to you in any way whatsoever. Another interesting way in which you can have a look at it is, like, imagine yourself as this house, all right? And at the moment, your inner house is very empty. In the way that you have never taken a moment or some time to define yourself for you, to describe yourself for you. So you can, for example, have this house, different rooms, all right? You've got a room for hobbies, your pastime, fun and enjoyment. Then you've got a room with family or your family members, another room, friends, another room, your career, job, what you do, another room, past experiences, events and things that happen in your life that had an impact on you, that defined you. Now, what you do is you want to start decorating, if you will, these rooms. Decorating these rooms meaning adding some couches and plants and, paintings. But that represents how you would describe and define yourself and who you are when it comes to what you do, who's in your life, what you participate in, what you've experienced in the past. Because you know what then happens. Now, people come into your life, right? And they want to get to know you. Now, obviously, when you start getting to know a person, you're going to allow them into your house, but you're only going to open up the room in which your, let's say, hobbies or pastime and fun and enjoyment, exists. So then you let them into your room through your words. Now you start describing and defining yourself, sharing, letting them know, you know what, I enjoy gaming or dancing. But not only that, the reason why I enjoy it, who I am within this, is this and this and this and that reason. Because another thing that can also happen with people is if you just tell them, I enjoy gaming, then, in their minds, they kind of have to then try and fill in the blanks and go, he's possibly liking gaming because of this and this and this reason. And, but I thought gaming was like a no-no, How much time do they spend with gaming, I wonder? And then what happens is they can create an idea about you. The consequence of first impressions, if you will. So, in a way, also in your communication interaction with people, this description and defining of yourself will assist and support with that first impression imprint in people who you meet in your life. And then as the relationship, for example, progress, you can then eventually let them into your past experiences room, where you share with them little bits and pieces, let them see all the furniture and describe all the paintings of This painting right here, this is an event that happened when I was in high school, and it was so impactful. It had such an imprint on me. It took me a couple of years to get over. But with learning that lesson in my life, it was very valuable. And, this person might go, wow, I never looked at that point or such a dimension in that interesting way. Do share more. And then you can guide people through the house that is you. And always what is most important, everyone, is that you always regulate what you accept and allow people to see and what not, depending on the nature of the relationship, of course. But start practicing this. How you can do it is walk through your life, as I said. Envision a room for each part and area or relationships, social relationships in your life. Start asking yourself, who am I in this? Why am I in this relationship with this person? Or why am I in this career that I am, or job that I am? But don't make it emotional. Simply look at it for what it is. Like, I want to get to know me. I want to define me and describe me for myself. And you'll be amazed at how much you'll be able to learn about you and how much of yourself has always been here, but you've in a way taken for granted because you haven't given that time for really, let's call it self-intimacy. All right. Everyone, thank you very much. And also another way, where you can practice is when people ask you, how are you? Instead of using those one words or even just sounds, use a sentence. Start practicing using your words to get to know you. All right, everyone, this is the soul video for today. And in our next videos to come, we will be starting with our next word that we're going to walk a defining, redefining, and living process with. Thank you very much.